Hey, I hope that this video serves as a reminder to you to treat yourself, to spend time with loved ones, and to try and have as much fun as possible. I did exactly that in this video. I'm going to be taking you along with me as I go through this completely impromptu trip with some loved ones and share all the art that I created along the way. I'm trying to have fun, relax, and I hope that you're having fun and relaxing too. Hey, welcome back to my channel. I make weekly art tutorials, paint-alongs and vlogs, and I am currently in Napoli, aka Naples. So yeah, sit back, relax and enjoy as we go through Napoli. So this all started because I had 4 days off, as did my mum, and the plan was for us to spend it together, to maybe go out for dinners and just relax in London. And then it occurred to me, why not go abroad? Why not do something else? I'd been looking at flights and I've known that my mum has always wanted to go to the Amalfi coast, and thus I suggested it to her at 10 p.m. Now, bless her heart, my mum is not spontaneous, and also she is an incredibly hard worker. Like, I'm pretty sure that the first holiday she ever went on was when I was a teenager and forced it. So this idea of us going on holiday abroad with just 6 hours before the flight just was not flying with her. But eventually I managed to convince her and my youngest sister. I packed my bags in an hour, travelled up to London at 2 a.m. and 6 hours later we were in Naples. So today I'm going to go to the Amalfi coast and take you along with me, hopefully find some inspiration to paint. This is voiceover me, so there was definitely so much inspiration to paint, and you will see I did lots of paintings and lots of drawings. That being said, I was also very mindful to actually spend time with my family. Even while editing this video and looking back on all the memories, I get super excited and inspired. The ocean was beautifully blue, there was so much nature around, and it was just relaxing. A lot of lemons everywhere, oddly enough, and yeah, I didn't quite know what to expect. As I said, we went to Naples initially and I knew that it was over an hour away from the Amalfi coast, and when we got there it was kind of expensive to get there, so there was a point where we were genuinely wondering whether we should just stay in Naples and maybe try to go to the Amalfi coast at some point in the future, however many years from now. But I'm so glad that we instead decided to bite the bullet and to take a tour down towards the Amalfi. I was literally like a child because I was so excited and so kind of overwhelmed by how beautiful everything is and how, I guess, picturesque everything is. And it was last minute, so I wasn't quite ready for how beautiful it was. If that makes sense. I didn't really take it all on board until we were actually there, and the buildings were stunning. There were so many beautiful churches, so much greenery around, lots and lots of lemons everywhere, and it was just really nice. Just look at how amazing all of this is. Can you see how beautiful this is? One of the beautiful things that I saw in Amalfi was this stunning church. So I managed to get the opportunity to sit down and actually sketch it from life. Yeah, start walking, I'll catch up to you. I just want to finish the sketch. And if I could, I would have just stayed there and painted it for hours, but obviously I couldn't. I was on a tour, I was with family, and I guess I wanted to enjoy more. So what I did do was a quick sketch, knowing that I would be able to come back and do that later and complete it later. And usually I don't like doing that. I like finishing one piece in one sitting, but I think the only exception has slowly become urban sketching and plein air painting, because sometimes time genuinely does not allow you to do that. I took a tour guide. There's a set period of time that you can stay there. So after, I think I sketched it for like maybe 10 minutes, maybe less. So quick sketches have become my best friend when it comes to that, as well as taking lots of pictures and taking lots of videos so that I can really remember the things that caught my eye. I can see close up of details that I really wanted to capture, and then I can do that elsewhere. For this, although initially my plan was to take it back to the hotel or back home and actually do a watercolor painting, by the time that I added all the details with my fine liner, I actually liked it like that. Like, I didn't want to add any more paint, and that's, I guess, one of the beauties of art. Sometimes you just change your mind. I almost never regret taking a tour when I go on a holiday, and this is no exception. One of the great things about going around with locals is that they just show you all these cool little things that you wouldn't necessarily be able to appreciate on your own. And for me, one of those things was like lemons everywhere, like lemon trees, lemon sweets, lemon soaps, lemon art everywhere. Which was so cool because I didn't associate that with the Amalfi Coast at all. We also saw this cute little shop that had all this kind of pottery and artistware and magnets. And it's just so nice to see like the art of a people, if that makes sense, and all the ways that I guess their culture is integrated in the art. So I spent a whole bunch of time looking at these things. They were beautiful. Unfortunately, they were out of my price range, and to be perfectly honest, I don't have the kind of space to just keep all these things. But that's one of the wonderful things about video. At least I get to immortalize them through this. After leaving the limoncello shop and the little cafe that had all the pottery, we finally made our way to the Amalfi Coast, and it was so stunning. It speaks for itself. Coast, Napoli, Vesuvius, the whole thing. Oh, so nice. I actually tried to sketch this view, but I tell you now, there is nothing quite as humbling as the ugly phase in a gouache painting. Let me know down below in the comments if you enjoy seeing like travel vlogs, and I guess from the artist perspective, and if that's something that you want to see more of. And as I take staycations, I will take you along with me. If you're enjoying this vlog, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button and to like the video as well, as it massively helps out. A special thank you in advance. Now, what kind of vlog would this be if I didn't take you through my hotel? Let's do that now. Can you believe that I can see Vesuvius from here? Amazing. I'm staying at Hotel Salga. My room got upgraded, which is amazing. I was complaining a few days ago that that never happens to me, and it's finally happened. So I actually have a suite. Let me show you. It's a junior suite. This is the front door here, and then the bathroom is here. And I asked them for a bath because I just find them really relaxing, with the bubble baths and jacuzzi jets and the whole thing. It felt like I was being massaged. And through here is the bedroom. Hi. Get slippers as well, so I feel so bougie. And then we come through here, and this is the suite as well. So they have like a little sofa slash bed here, some stuff for teas and things. Hello again. Then my painting supplies are also here, and the terrace. You ever know that your siblings are just minding their business and you just feel like being annoying? This was basically me. So this is my sister. Relax. Stop it, man. For all concerned parties, don't worry, I actually got her permission before including that clip in the video. We had the most stunning view of Vesuvius from the terrace, and during the sunset, it was just all the colours and everything was just so beautiful that I had to stop and paint it. And this was challenging. For a number of different reasons. I think one was the weather. So it was actually quite cold, especially as soon as like the sun started setting. The other challenge was the fact that this was the sunset and the colors were just changing so quickly. So it's kind of trying to capture all that when 5 minutes later, everything that you saw has completely changed. All the colors have changed, the values have changed, everything looks completely different. And yeah, I was really fast and loose with this. Again, I think in part because of the temperature. And when I look back on the actual painting, I realized that all the colors I was using were quite cold, like, you know, cold purples and cold, yeah, it all looked cold. And I think it's because I was actually cold. Not freezing, but I think that that element kind of came into it. And at that point, I didn't want to move because I was like in the flow. So it didn't really occur to me to go inside and like put on an extra layer. So I was enjoying the process, but it definitely kind of shows in the painting. And again, there were so many like purples in the sky, there were reds in the sky, there was just a lot going on, and it was absolutely stunning. But I wanted to just really capture Vesuvius, and that was my focus for the painting. And I experimented with colors. I added a lot of reds, and I think again that I was seeing from the sky, and all this was just to remember being there and to remember how beautiful it looked and to remember how stunning the sunset and everything else was. So yeah, I really, really, really like the piece. Now, it is different to what I feel like I normally do. And I kind of felt like I was painting differently with watercolors. Like I wasn't really using them like wet on wet or anything like that. I was just really instinctively looking up very quickly and trying to capture the colors that I was seeing as quickly as possible. But it worked and I liked it. I think looking back, I didn't quite like it when it finished. Like I wasn't sure about it, but then the more and more and more I looked at it, the more I actually absolutely loved it. And the more I'm like, oh, this is actually a really good painting. So yeah, I honestly loved my time on the terrace. In terms of art supplies, I am using the palette that I created for my trip to Venice, and I will link the video for you down below and up above as well. And that essentially consists of my Daniel Smith paints as well as my Cotman paints. For this painting, I primarily use the Daniel Smith paints. I also have my water cup that comes with my gouache palette that I absolutely love. I have some metal clips to hold everything in place, and I'm using a Moleskine watercolor notebook in order to capture all these paintings.
Actually, here I am at Castel Nuovo, which basically means new castle.
This is again another opportunity that I used to do a super quick sketch while waiting for the bus. As I said, it was called Castel Nuovo, and I think we were just trying to see more of Napoli because we didn't really stay there for long. The fine liner that I'm using is by Winsor & Newton and is 0.3 size, and I really liked this pen. I love my Unipin fine liners. As you know, I also really like the microns, but I was quite pleasantly surprised by how nicely this glides over the paper, so it's definitely one that I'm going to be using more and more. I thought the castle would be really nice to draw because it was like straight on, so the perspective isn't completely distorted, and it just had some really nice unique shapes within it, so that caught my eye.
Once I completed it, I actually ended up going back and adding some watercolors to it. Nothing too drastic or detailed, just enough to kind of capture some of the colors that I saw. Is it the holiday feeling that makes everything looks absolutely amazing, sky included? So most of the tour so far has been like at the Amalfi. That's where I've spent most of my time, but I kind of want to see a bit more of Napoli. So I have come to a beautiful place in the center of Napoli, and I'm going to show you now. And forgive me, I keep saying this wrong. Piazza del Plebiscito. Yeah, Piazza del Plebiscito. Behind me you can see a stunning church that's full of art. Unfortunately it's closed at the moment, but the beautiful thing about this piazza, and look at all the places you could potentially paint, is like, of course there's this beautiful church, and then you're surrounded by all these other buildings. This is a palace. When you look to this side you can see Mount Vesuvius in the background. You can see a galleria in here as well, and at the back, all the way there, up here, you can see a palace as well. It's absolutely amazing. Like there's just so many beautiful things to take pictures of, so many beautiful things, so much art to take on board. So there are so many different things that I want to paint and draw, time allowing. But yeah, let's set up. When I say setup, what I mean is literally grab a piece of paper, which is in this instance is my Moleskine watercolor sketchbook, and then grab a simple HB pencil. And that's literally because on holiday, I find it is important, especially for me, to have a balance between like creating art and doing things I enjoy and actually being in the moment and spending time with the people that I'm with. I knew that I wouldn't have the time to like sit down and do a big watercolor production, and I didn't want to. To me, sometimes sketches are literally enough.
My family were actually super, super sweet because I wanted to sketch this and I just felt like I didn't have time. So I was like, okay, let's just go. And they were like, no, 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 like take your time, sketch it, enjoy it. And not only that, they then videoed it, which was really, really nice of them and really sweet. But yeah, this really, really caught my eye again because of the domes, because of like the pillars and the structures, just felt like really nice and strong. Because of time, I focused more on sketching and I didn't really do that much painting in this trip as a whole. As you may know, one of the things that I really want to try and focus on more is actually drawing more and inking more. And I think ultimately it will help me with my painting. But when I first started, the thing that I loved was to draw. And somewhere along the line, I stopped doing that. But on this trip, I really got to do a lot more of that. I embraced using my pencil to do quick sketches. And then when I had time, I would go back and start using my fine liner to ink. Originally, to be honest, with the intention being that I would then add watercolor, but then I just enjoyed it so much and liked the finished product that for quite a few of them I didn't feel like I needed to, and I didn't. One of the things that really caught my eye about this building in itself is just how strong it is and how there were like lots of straight lines with the pillars and with the triangles, but then there were like softer lines with the domes and the curves. And I actually found it quite challenging to draw and quite challenging to get the perspective right, even though I was standing right ahead of it. It took me a little while longer and it took a lot of focus. But I guess it's good because it taught me that you actually have to look up and see what you're painting or what you're drawing. Like it's quite easy to just draw what you think you're drawing rather than actually draw what's in front of you.
And I think that one of the reasons that I really had to focus is because of the contrast between like all the straight lines that were there, as well as like all the curves from the domes and the top of the church itself, just meant that I had to actually pay attention to what I was looking at. I'm in two minds as to whether I want to add colour or maybe even like a little bit of a grey wash to it, or whether I should leave it like this, but for now it stands like this. Trying to get a lot done before heading back to the airport. And this is stunning. Oh, so beautiful. And that's the thing, a lot of the churches in Italy are just so stunning. I keep painting and drawing domes because they have so many. Okay, I can push it enough time. By Galleria Umberto, which I was showing you from the piazza. You can see the top, and it is actually a giant shopping centre. Absolutely stunning. Trying to make my way to the airport. Honestly, the airport is the only place that I could get there 2 hours before the flight and feel like I am there way too late. And that's essentially because the first bus didn't come, so I had to run for the second bus, etc. But I made it back to London okay. And guys, I had such an amazing time. Like, this was just a snippet of our time there, but honestly, just getting to spend that extra time with my mum and with my sister and getting to travel around completely spontaneously, having booked the ticket 6 hours before, was something that I will never regret and always look back on with a smile on my face. So I just wanted to show you the kind of painting and drawing bits. And while there, I did definitely think of you and think like, oh, this would be a wonderful painting or this would be a wonderful reference. And that's why I wanted to capture some of this and share it. When I was at the airport as well, I got to see a Moleskine store, and you know, I love stationery. So I just kind of got to stroll there, look around. They had all these cool designs that I hadn't seen before. They had cute sets as well. But I'm not going to lie, when I'm at the airport, my focus is like get to the gate. So this was maybe a 3-minute diversion. And then I was like, no, what am I doing? I need to get back. I need to get to the gate. And then once I'm on the plane, I feel like I can relax. Like I haven't missed the plane. Everything is okay. And while there, I decided to do a painting of a cute little church that we saw while on our way to the Amalfi. And I don't know, there's something about it that I really, really like. Like, I want to paint it again even. And with this piece, what I wanted to do was actually do it loose. So I didn't use any pencil to do the sketching. I just used it to kind of write my notes after. I just went straight in with watercolor and wanted to see how that would work, and would I be able to add extra details? Would I be able to create a painting that I liked? And the answer is yes. Like, I actually really, really enjoyed it. And it felt like the perfect way to kind of end an amazing trip. If you are still watching, then you are most definitely a real MVP, and I really, really, really appreciate you for watching. This took me so long to edit. I'm not sure why, but it just did. I'm talking months of like hours of just putting it all together. So I appreciate you being here and watching it. If you are watching, let me know by telling me a time that you treated yourself that really sticks in your mind. Or if one doesn't, how are you planning on treating yourself in the coming future? Thank you so much for watching. Here are just a few snippets from my time in the Amalfi, because I love me some pictures. I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye. What is happening? Amazing. Thanks for tuning in.